All right, CJ, let's ask some questions and we'll get into activity. So, um, you mentioned that earlier that when you were younger, you went to Intermountain School uh, to just like start like exploring every day.
I mean, yeah, pretty much. Especially, we were right around that time when, like, we didn't necessarily need jobs. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
And so what else were we gonna do to fill our time but go and do that? And especially because the property, right? I mean, Intermountain, it wasn't just one building, it was several. I mean, I probably had access to well over 20 buildings, going through there, and it was just down the street from the skate park. And so if you were hanging out at the skate park or whatever, and you're just like, yeah, let's just go to the Indian schools, it's what people did.
I know you talk about the connection between urban exploring and legend tripping. I know we talked about legend tripping when Christina Downs was our guest on the show. But can you discuss the idea of legend tripping as it pertains to exploring these abandoned spaces that you used to do and that you study?
Yes. So as far as legend tripping goes, um there wasn't anything that I can say I could tie to Intermountain as like something that people would go and do, right?
Hmm.
Like what could be classified as legend tripping. There wasn't any particular legend. There wasn't, anything like that. It was just kind of a place. The legends though that were formed, mostly were just, I guess, legends that had anything to do with Native American stuff or indigenous stuff, or before it was a residential school, it was a hospital.
Oh wow.
And so any kind of legends regarding hospitals, like, just Intermountain kind of adopted, and we kind of, how do I put it? We projected those legends onto the property and acted as though they, were about the property, and carried them out as though they were about the property. And it was just a kind of weird thing to do
So
for
can you give an
sure. But I
example of
mean,
that? Can you give an example of how those legends would cross over like that?
yeah, so like, um, there was a particular area that was a daycare center at one point. And it was a you could tell it was a daycare center because there were all kinds of like circus animals painted on the alongside the walls. It was kind of like, I don't even know how to explain. Like, have you ever seen Hey Arnold?
Yes.
The episode Vacant Lot?
Yes. Yes.
That's pretty much what it was. It was this vacant lot, surrounded by three walls, and each wall had like these crazy cool animal paintings on them.
Mm.
And that was where, so one thing that Intermountain offered that not a lot of schools offered was a program for single parents. And
Okay.
so while parents went to school, their kids would go and hang out at that daycare. And so as I was conducting research, now keep in mind, this isn't, anything that I heard growing up. This is just stuff that I heard like um, through interviews with a number of police officers who told me that people often believed that if they were down near that area, they could hear children crying. One officer swore in an interview that he heard it one night, and he told me that, after he heard it, he asked not to be put on duty to like monitor the that property
Wow.
anymore, at least at night. And so, definitely something that we just kind of took from somewhere else. I mean, you can hear about children crying damn near in any legend, right? You, it's not really a legend that, fits or doesn't fit with the place. It can fit pretty much anywhere. And so because it can fit pretty much anywhere, we kind of just made it about Intermountain, and that's kind of what we did. Um I didn't even realize that until I grew up, started studying legends, and realized how many legends were exactly like the ones I had read about, regarding Intermountain, and maybe thought, oh, maybe they're not necessarily subjective to this one property.
Sure, but rather they're more indicative of like a good example of like a formulaic variant that you'd be able to like
Right.
trace. Yeah, that's very interesting. That is very interesting folklore stuff, in your own backyard, so to speak.
Yeah, it was a lot of fun.
Yeah. Um. So I want to talk a little bit about urban exploring or abandoned appreciation or whatever you call these communities of people who explore abandoned spaces. First, what is your word you use, or are there many different ones?
Um, yeah, I use exploring mostly because um it's pretty all encompassing,
Sure.
and there's not really another word that would describe it better.
Um. How can we view the exploring of uh of these spaces, especially when people start posting them online? How can we view that as art?
Um, Honestly, there's something about and look, maybe this is just my naivety, but I feel like there's something about urban explorers that, yes, there is definitely the definition kind of carries over into trespassing, but I mean, I definitely never try to trespass too much anymore. I try to find a way to get permission. And I feel like more and more urban explorers are doing the same. And more people who own these properties, are kind of like, for like the only thing I have as an example is in Park City, Utah,
Park City, Utah.
there are tons and tons and tons of abandoned mines that I went
Mm.
through this summer with a buddy of mine, and they were all along these like really popular hiking trails, and the city was like, yeah, go ahead, you guys are more than welcome to explore it if you want. Just be aware that like that's your choice, and if you get hurt, like that's on you, not anybody else. Um, and so I definitely think that more and more people are trying to find a way to access it because honestly, it freaking sucks to be, super anxious about running into something or running into somebody, who knows that you shouldn't be there. It's not very fun. It's a lot more fun to go in and do whatever you need to do.
Hmm. So okay. So kind of piggybacking off that. I'm getting that there are like certain kinds of like folk customs, like customs that like different urban explorers would pass on to each other about how not to get caught, how to appreciate these spaces, how to operate in this sort of in this sort of field of exploring. What is perhaps like the best application of these customs from your time exploring? It can be like a good story that happened to you. It could be like a sort of, kind of rule of thumb that all urban explorers would know. But what's like a very good application of these customs or like rules that explorers have in common?
Um, that's an excellent question. I There's a kid. I haven't met this guy. I've only kind of talked to him online. But he lives, I don't know, about an hour or so south of where I am,
Hmm.
and he and I will swap places all the time. And some of the things that, some of the information that we share with each other, definitely, coordinates, and then also
Mm.
like he'll tell me, okay, this is what you need to do. Here's where you should park your car. Go in this way. You know what I mean? That kind of stuff. And then also, so it's kind of like we go to new places, do what we need to do,
Hmm.
which more than anything is just, find ways to stay safe. And then we go ahead and pass that information on to other explorers, right? If you're going to this place, this is one thing that I did to kind of stay safe. This is where I parked my car and I didn't get into any kind of trouble or anything like that. There was this abandoned spa that he told me about, and he's like, "Yeah, there's a public trail," and he's like, "But you're gonna turn off at this point, and then you're just gonna keep going, and you'll get there."
Oh, cool.
Um,
That sounds
and
like Stanley.
so,
That sounds like the Stanley Parable.
yeah, exactly. And so, yeah, and so it's kind of exactly like that.
What is your favorite thing you found while exploring?
Um, I mean, besides obviously the stuff at Intermountain,
Oh, and for the
um,
chat, the stuff in Intermountain was like broadly what?
ooh, good question. Broadly, so the coolest things that I found, and this is what it kind of brought up when we were playing the game, right?
Hmm.
Is the just the layout, right? If I saw a desk in a classroom, that was something that I just freaking loved, right? If I saw that there was one building that was completely inaccessible pretty much my entire life up until like 5 years ago, right?
Okay.
And there was I remember going by it about 5 years ago, and I was looking through a window, and I saw that there was a roll of toilet paper that had just sat there, and this roll of toilet paper, I mean, was just I have a picture of it. I think it's on my Instagram, and it looked besides the fact that it had been sitting there for 30, 40 years, it looked perfectly fine.
Wow.
And so stuff like that is really cool to find. It's kind of weird to find and interesting because you would think, you would just think. I mean, I've never, maybe it's just me, but I've never moved out of an apartment where that was like cool with me leaving random shit in there. You know what I mean?
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
And so I wonder, like, at some point somebody had to lock this door for the last time. Why didn't they just take this roll of toilet paper? Why leave it? Like,
Yeah.
and so I don't know. You ask questions like that, and it's just weird and fun to think about.
It's
The things that people leave behind.
it's kind of cool because like that's like it's storytelling in a weird way with like the absence of telling a story can create a narrative if that makes any sense.
No, absolutely.
Can I jump in for 1 sec
Do it,
because this
Daisy.
is
Do it, Daisy.
okay. This is reminding me of a class that Dr. Dory Noyes teaches at OSU that I haven't taken yet that I'm dying to take. That we all jokingly call the trash class because it's all it's all about the stuff we throw away
Yeah.
and what constitutes waste and like what is abandoned and what is tossed out that makes up this sort of like ephemeral culture of or ephemeral pieces of community and stuff. And like, wow, I think that this fits right in, and I hadn't really thought about like vernacular architecture or just architecture in general fitting into this idea of trash. I think that that's really
Yeah,
interesting.
like the intersection between material culture and trash, it makes me think kind of like, all right, when you do like archaeology and you find a trash heap, you're just like, oh, that's so cool. I can like understand what these people are like by what they threw away. But this is like you said, 40-year-old toilet paper. You know, like
Yeah.
that wasn't like hundreds of years ago. It was just like someone left toilet paper and then no one touched it. What could that mean about people? So that's yeah, exactly. Whoa, 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 whoa! Gift sub to Death Loris. Oh, thank you,
Whoa, whoa,
Ozone.
whoa.
Thank you, man. We're
Ew.
we're paying it forward. I love that.
Hey,
Okay.
thanks,
Hey,
y'all.
CJ, you talked about a class, or I'm sorry, Daisy, you talked about a class you're taking for uh your PhD program. I want to talk
Yes.
about your master's program that you and CJ were both in. CJ, I've heard there was an incident with a bat on a fieldwork trip.
Wait,
Are you allowed to talk
before
about this bat story? Before what?
before we jump into this, I want to clarify I was not in this course
Okay.
because it got canceled because of what happened with the bat.
Oh, okay. Wow.
So I could
What
not
an
take it in
amazing
the
lead
same
in.
way.
What an
Yeah.
amazing lead in. CJ, what happened? What is the bat story? This is like the thing with the
Okay.
goat from How I Met Your Mother. What is the bat story?
So I don't remember why exactly we decided to do a field school at a dude ranch, other than it's freaking cool.
Sure.
Like, I mean, it was the coolest thing. I'm sure there was like, a super great educational purpose, but I thought it was the most fun thing, and so it was a field school
Okay.
at this dude ranch.
Can you
I just
explain
I just
really?
want to I just want to marinate on the sentence. I thought there was probably something educational. I thought it was fun.
Can you explain like really quickly what the like intended purpose of a field school for folklorists
yeah.
is?
If you've never been to field school, what is field school for someone who's never been?
What is field school? I mean, I guess it's just collecting metadata more than anything else, doing oral histories, collecting
Yeah.
sources, information, for future researchers, I guess.
Sure, like
It's yeah, like I'm taking one right now called the Ohio Field School, and like basically it's a way to teach students how to use like field recording equipment, but also work on like public folklore-esque projects or like help people who are coordinating folklore research collect data. So like you're probably
Hmm.
taking interviews, you're probably writing field notes, and you're
Yep.
probably, just as CJ you said, doing the metadata, which is like basically naming it and organizing it to
yeah.
get it into an archive.
I think the only
So
thing I'd add is intensive. Like it's like a 40
Oh,
hour
it's
week.
super intensive.
Yeah, at
yeah,
least,
it's
at
like
least.
you do it for a week or a couple weeks, and it's like all day every
It's
day.
all you do. Yeah. Okay, so
Hmm.
you were doing field school at a dude ranch in Utah?
Yeah. No, yeah, we were in the Tetons,
In
Grand
the
Teton National Park.
Tetons. Okay.
Yeah, it was freaking awesome. And we had rented out these cabins that were owned by Wyoming. Is it Wyoming State University yet? Right? WSU, I think.
Pretty sure
Um,
that's right. Yeah.
yeah,
Okay.
and so we get there and we have dinner. The university shelled out all this money to get this like really good dinner, and they are giving us the rules of the wild, if you will, right? And fun fact, something I learned like that day: bear spray is not like bug spray. You should not apply it.
Oh my god.
Okay, I just want you to know I don't know the shape of the story yet, but you've hit me with the teaser about bear spray, so keep going.
Well, they gave us a can of bear spray, and I don't hike. I don't, you know what I mean? Like my family and we never camped. Yeah, I have no clue what the heck bear spray is. You're just gonna give me this can of, and I'm just like, oh, bear spray, bug spray, they must work the same. Like if you apply it to your skin, bears won't want to come around you because they don't like the smell or something. You
Oh
know what
my
I mean?
god.
It's not how it works though. Anyway, and so um in the middle of that entire like this is the way of the wild talk, they're like, oh, hey, we've recently had a, I don't even, she didn't really describe it as an outbreak or an infestation, but she basically said that rats, not sorry, not rats, bats, had started living in one of the main cabins. And she's like, yeah, they live in the main cabin. Well, that's where it started, right? It started in the main cabin. In the main
Hmm.
cabin, it was this cabin where you're like, it was the only place that had Wi-Fi. Um, there was like a library there. The our classroom was in that cabin. So there was this like conference room type of thing. But anyway, that then turned into, oh yeah, never mind. All of the cabins have bats,
Okay.
but they're not in your rooms. Don't worry.
Oh great.
And then later on it turned into, yes, they are in your rooms, but don't worry, like if you don't bother them, they won't bother you. And all of us are just like, what? Okay.
This is getting better
And
and better.
so I mean, it was super funny. It was the best thing ever. Honestly, I stayed in this room with these two other guys. and all of the girls stayed in this other room. And I don't know. Again, I'm not a hiker. I'm not a camper. I bought a sleeping bag. I've never seen it again after this field school. And so I get, into this sleeping bag, and I have no idea how freaking hot they get. Holy
Oh
crap.
yeah.
They get so hot. And we're in the freaking Tetons this is the first 2 weeks of August we were there or something like that. And so it was just it was so hot. And I remember hearing the bats, and I remember feeling them crawling like underneath my bunk bed. And at one point though, I woke up and I was like, screw this, I'm too hot. Like, if I get bit, I don't even care. I don't even care because I can't do this. I can't sleep in this heat. And so the next day, Jeannie, who was our department head, and
Dr. Thomas, yeah.
yep, yep, she's the greatest. She caught wind of it, and she's like, that does not sound safe at all. I'm gonna, call the university and see what they think. The university kind of freaked out, and they're like, yeah, if they get rabies and they all die, we're all gonna get sued. You know what I mean? So they, I mean,
This goes from like 0 to 100 of like it starts with like bats in the cabin, and then wait, this is a safety issue that we need to deal with because
Yeah.
rabies could kill all.
If they get rabies and die, we get sued. So that can't happen.
yeah, exactly. And it was it was really hard for me the entire time not to like find the whole situation super humorous. And I don't know if it was because I was kind of scared or if I didn't
Yeah.
really think that we had rabies, but it was just like, I don't know, because we basically got to screw around for that day. And then while we all figured out what to do, like what do we do, and we're all trying to figure out like, okay, um, so and so, so and so, and so and so definitely need shots. These people maybe not. Oh, never mind. Hours later, actually, you all need shots. It was just this whole.
Oh my God.
We were all on the CDC called every single one of us and interviewed all of us. And then that they used that to determine whether or not we needed shots. And the entire time this is happening, mind you, we're in Jackson Hole now. And
Okay.
so back into civilization, if you will. And everyone's freaking making memes of me because apparently I'm the guy to be made fun of about rabies. And so I have all these folklorists making memes about me and having rabies and bats and things like that. And they're really funny. Don't get me wrong.
Oh, can I cut in? Can I cut in?
Yeah.
The folklorist, like the memes in the folklorist group chat, yes, are always very good and like very personal. It's like it is an example of us using our powers for evil in group chats. Yeah.
Yeah, it was a lot of fun. But you can tell like, I don't know, it was something that definitely brought us kind of closer together in a weird way.
Yeah. You
But
don't say.
anyway, so yeah, so each time one of us gets a call, it's like, oh, it's a CDC, and we're, and then we go out, we step out of the Airbnb for a little bit, we come back, it's like, yep, gotta get the shot.
Oh my God.
It's kind of like living with COVID now. You know what I
Sure.
mean?
Yeah.
And that's exactly what it was like, but it was it was rabies. And eventually we all realized that every single one of us has to get it. At least, sorry, the CDC recommends that every single one of us gets it. If we decide to opt out, then the university makes us sign a waiver saying that we won't hold them responsible. Was the way it went. The one person who waived the rabies vaccine did not die, as far as I know. He made it to graduation.
Jeez, what a happy ending, as far as I know.
He made it to graduation, which was like a year and a half later. So I think by then rabies shows up, but I don't know.
I'd assume.
Probably okay.
Yeah. And so anyway, um, we get so there were like 16 of us who needed the shot. Well, Wyoming just doesn't have 16, rabies vaccines just on tap. So we had to
Especially
get
Wyoming. Yeah.
so we had to get the vaccination from, I think it was California, Utah, Nevada, Montana, and I think Idaho as well. We had to take all of their stock, and we had to get it like rushed to the hospital in Jackson in order for us to get it. And so
Mm.
yeah, it was kind of, it's kind of one of those things because as soon as you start showing symptoms for rabies, like it's too late.
Sure.
So there was a very small time window that we all had to work with. And it made the 2 weeks crazy fun in a way. Because I don't know, the instructors were all, going through the same stuff we were. And
Hmm.
so it became a like, all right, instead of doing, all the stuff that we planned, let's break up into, more, I don't know how to put it, like more productive groups and tackle these big things, in more productive numbers and do things that way. And it was, I mean, we got a lot done. We got a lot
It's
done.
so this is so funny because like it's like for the students basically okay, like it kind of sucks, but but you all are basically deciding whether or not you'd have to take shots. But like a word to the faculty in the audience. Like I can imagine this being an absolute
Oh
nightmare.
my
Like
god.
I can't even imagine being an instructor and like trying to decide like you put this had the students go to a place where they could get rabies accidentally and like from what I understand like this was not only like essentially it turned into an absolute like financial nightmare because
Oh
rabies
yeah.
shots are not just like free, right? Like they're like
Hence,
10
No.
grand for your series.
hence why Wyoming
Yeah.
didn't have them on tap. Yeah.
Right, yeah, and you have to take, like, a bunch of them, right, CJ?
Yeah, we had,
Your rabies
I think there
booster.
was 5 total in
Wow.
like 3
5,
rounds.
yeah.
No, no, okay, hold on. So it was 5 the first one, and then I think 2, and then 2 more. I don't know, it was like but that first go, the 5, oh man, that killed me.
Mm.
Because she did 1, 2, 3, 4. No, she did, yeah, Um, 2 in my arms, 2 in, my thighs, and then she went, at my one of my thighs at a different angle, and immediately, like, my entire body just started shaking, and I was like, "No,
Oh,
no." I was like,
Oh.
"I can't
No.
do this."
Mm. Oh, that's hitting
ah,
right. It was hitting right. That rabies
oh my
vaccine hitting right.
god.
Yeah, freaking it hurt so bad, and she's like,
Ah,
"Alright, we'll go ahead and pull down your trousers, and we'll get it in the butt," and I'm like, What?" I was like I was like, "What?" I
oh
look,
boy.
I grew up in Utah. We don't really show people our butts, you know what I mean? Like, I'm I may not be LDS, but like I still grew up in the culture. It was super
Yeah.
I
awkward.
I would like to know what state you think is comfortable where people share butts a lot.
California, Daisy. He's talking about you.
California,
He's
it's
talking about
I was
you.
gonna
No,
I was gonna say it's California, isn't it?
It's California.
I remember the when I first met you, Dom. It was the AFS in Minneapolis,
Mhm.
and you, Daisy, and I went to this bar, and we wrote something in ketchup and mustard. You remember that?
I don't remember what we wrote. I can remember the
What did
ketchup
we
and mustard
write?
when we were eating cheese curds, right?
Yeah, yeah. But anyway, that's the funny the part of the story that I'm talking about is like after we left that bar, there were this group of people walking in front of us, and like one of their butts was just hanging out, and Tom was like, "Is that ass? Like, did I just see someone's ass?" And it made me laugh so hard.
It was okay. If I
So
remember correctly, this is right by. We were walking like by the club from Purple Rain, right?
I think so.
Yeah, we were like on that like main street in like downtown Minneapolis, and someone was just walking, and there was just ass. There was just ass on the street. They didn't notice there was ass out. So shouts out to ass. I also see Lieutenant Butt in
Yeah.
California is saying California is here for booty duty. So yeah,
Yes.
California is the butt state. Um, I got one more question for you, CJ. I got one more. Well, I got two more questions for you. Really, the first one is, what's can you show the chat your favorite tattoo?
Oh,
First Ave. That's right.
yeah.
First Ave. It was right by First
Yeah,
Ave.
for sure. Okay.
Tattoo
So
tour. Tattoo tour.
Love
it
this.
works
How many
well.
tattoos do you have? How many tattoos do you have?
9.
9. Yeah, I thought you had a ton.
So Dom, let's see if you recognize this one or
Okay.
whatever.
Okay. Hold it down. That's a moth.
Is that big moth? Wait, is
Is that
moth and plant
like an
is
atlas moth?
This is the tattoo that Ellie has in The Last of Us 2.
Oh!
That is so sick.
Gaming.
What? Damn, CJ, you're a
Gaming.
gamer boy.
Real
Look at this
gamer
gamer boy
alert.
with the gamer
Real
tattoo.
gamer alert.
Yeah.
You're putting us to shame, real gamer.
Oh,
No.
that is really
Yeah.
well done. I like that a lot.
No, I love it. And I got it. I was originally gonna wait until the second game to see if I liked it. And then I'm like, you know what? I like the first one enough that I don't care if the second one is complete crap. Like, I'll get the tattoo.
That is so sick.
Wow,
So
that's
yeah, that one's probably my favorite one though.
so. And then, kind of my transition question. And if yes, no spoilers. How have you been liking WandaVision?
Oh, I've freaking loved it. It's
Which one's your favorite episode? I'll ask that. Which episode of WandaVision has been your favorite?
okay. So I actually had a fun argument with the guy at work about this. My favorite show, like for better or worse, whether you all love or hate me for this, my favorite show growing up, hands down, was Malcolm in the Middle.
Oh, I love Malcolm.
Watched
I
it
love Malcolm in the
religiously.
Middle. Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, it was just like such a great show. And so that episode for sure had to have been my favorite because I mean, yeah, just the tribute alone was
Yeah, they nailed
it
nailed
just
like the Malcolm aesthetic down to like the
oh
camera
so good.
quality and like the way the house looked and yeah, all of it.
Yeah,
Incredible.
it was perfect.
All right.
So yeah,
So
probably that one.
so this is the part of the this is a part of about the time in the interview where we play an activity with our guest. And I will say this, CJ. So every time we've been doing this, we've been doing we've been making a tier maker. We've been on tiermaker.com. We've been making a tier maker with a guest based on like their work or something they study. And when I pitched it to Daisy, I originally said, "Oh, you know how at one time I was at a conference with CJ and we stayed in the breakfast area,
I
ate
remember
bagels
that.
and ranked the MCU movies instead of going to 8 a.m. panels at this academic conference. That being said, we've come full circle and you're finally on the show. So today we are doing I'm going to have you as fast as you can speed round rank
Oh
the
shoot.
rank the Marvel movies. So talk to me here. Let's go. Let's try to go from release order. So, if you don't know how a tier maker works, you know it comes from fighting games. It comes from
Yeah.
fighting games ranking character choice. But in recent years, people have used this to rank all sorts of mundane things. Today, we are ranking Marvel movies with the Marvel god CJ Guadarrama. So, I'm going to start with Iron Man 1. S is master tier, D is the bottom. If you want me to put F, I can put F down there if you think any Marvel movie is a failure. I definitely think there are, but we can work S through D. Iron Man 1, where does that go in the tier list?
I think, subjectively it wasn't one of my favorites, but objectively speaking, I think it would have to go to S.
S. Okay. All right. Next, maybe not such a subjective popular one, but the Edward Norton Hulk. Where does Edward Norton Hulk go?
Oh, Edward Norton Hulk, that was garbage. Just D.
D. Smooth D. Okay. Iron Man 2.
B,
Okay.
I think.
Okay. Why B? Why B?
It wasn't, as far as I remember, it wasn't necessarily as good as the first one. And it didn't really, I mean, yeah, the post credit scene kind of took it somewhere, but aside from that, I mean, it was just a pretty average movie.
Sure. Okay. I see it. Speaking of post credit scene, Thor is the next one.
Oh,
Thor 1.
yeah,
The one where he has blonde eyebrows.
Yeah. I really didn't like that one. I would put it at a C just because it wasn't as bad as Dark World, but it wasn't good.
I like how we're getting to that. Captain America, the first Captain America.
That was an A.
Hell yeah. And Avengers 1, the class
That's
the
S tier.
classic. Okay, S tier, is it higher than Iron Man?
Yeah.
All right, Avengers 1 is in the lead. Okay, we're out of phase 1 here. We're out of phase 1. Let's go to the next, and I believe next we've got, I think last time we did this, and I think not all these Marvel movies were out when we originally did this tier ranker at 8 in the morning while eating bagels instead of going to 8 a.m. conference papers.
I remember that.
Guardians was your favorite. Where does Guardians
Oh yeah.
stack up now?
Oh, that's a good one. I think Guardians is a solid A.
Guardians A over Captain America?
Oh shoot. No.
Wow.
No,
Okay,
I'd
okay,
say-
okay. I remember Guardians being S last time, but. Okay, what's next? What's next? We got Iron Man 3. Iron Man 3.
I know that everyone hated it, so I'll go ahead and put it in C. But honestly, it was one of my favorite ones.
So you saying C but better than Thor?
Yeah.
Are you trying to come to like some sort of synthesis between like movies everyone hates but I secretly like? Is that what you're saying?
Kind of.
Okay. Okay. Next we've got Thor the Dark Thor.
Oh yeah, that's D.
Very bottom. I hate this movie. I think it's so bad. Okay. And we've got the next one is going to be Captain America the Winter Soldier.
That's S tier for sure.
That's S. Okay. Okay. I all right. Agree to disagree. I don't think it's S. But it's your list. It's your list, CJ. Where do you want to put this?
I'll put it at the end.
At the top?
No. Sorry.
Okay. Third place so far.
Bottom of, yeah. But yeah, I don't know. I just thought they took a gamble and it really paid off for me.
Next is Avengers: Age of Avengers. Where's this going? Age of Ultron.
I'd put it in B.
B. Above, better or worse than Iron Man 2?
Better.
Better.
Yeah.
That might be recent revisionism now that WandaVision is out. The movie that brought us Wanda and Vision. All right. Next up on the docket, we've got Ant-Man.
Oh, Ant-Man. I put that as an A as well.
All right, where does it go in terms of Guardians and Captain America?
Behind both.
Behind both. Okay. I like Ant-Man a lot. Next we have Civil War.
Think so.
Civil War.
Ooh.
Civil War.
Oh man. I'd put it in A,
Okay.
but at the top.
Over.
Yeah.
All right. So you're going 3, 4, 5. In your top 5 so far, you got 3 Captains America.
Yeah.
All right.
I don't know why those movies are killing it.
All right. It's cool. Stick to your guns. Next we've got Doctor Strange.
Oh, I did not like that one at all. I think that, honestly, I don't even think it was super popular. I'd put it straight to D.
Straight to D?
Probably the highest D.
Okay.
Yeah, probably the highest
It's
D.
better than Hulk, but it's worse than original Thor.
Yeah.
Okay, hit me with that Guardians. I don't remember if it's Black Panthers or Guardians 2 next. There's so many of these. Hit me with Guardians 2. Another movie I remember you
Guardians 2.
loved.
Yeah, I definitely loved it. But I'd probably still put it in B.
All right, here's Iron Man. Here's Age of Ultron. Where's Guardians 2 going?
Right between them.
Right between them. Okay.
Mm-hmm.
Okay. No, what's the song in Guardians 2? Brandy, you're a fine girl. What a good wife you would be. Black Panther.
Black Panther is an S for me.
All right. Let's go S. Where's it going?
What was the last one there?
Winter Soldier.
Ooh, yeah. Well, honestly, I'd probably put it right behind Avengers.
Oh, second place, Black
Yeah.
Panther. Okay, cool. I my like only problem with Black Panther is that every time they fight, I'm like, can we get more acting? Everyone is so good at acting in this movie. You stop talking when you fight, everyone. Yeah, Killmonger, maybe my favorite MCU character. I love him.
Yeah, yeah.
What an
He's
interesting
amazing.
dude. Next we've got Spoderman. Spider-Man Homecoming.
Oh, Homecoming. That's an A.
That's a strong A. Where's it going?
Yeah.
Where's it going? Ant-Man,
Um.
Guardians, Cap 3.
Right after Cap 3, but yeah.
Okay, so between the two Captain America movies, I also that's
Mm-hmm.
my favorite Spider-Man movie of every cinematic Spider-Man.
Yeah, that one's super good.
Hell yeah, hell yeah. Okay, next we've got Thor Ragnarok.
Oh, that's S tier.
S tier. Now, where's it go? Where's it go? You can be my favorite person
I'll
with this.
put it.
Where's it go?
Oh, it's got to be. Honestly, it's got to be top.
Agree.
Well,
Hard
maybe.
agree. Wait.
A lot of S tiers, might I say?
I don't. Ragnarok is a
Ragnarok or
pretty perfect
Avengers
film.
1? What is the best Avengers movie?
No, Ragnarok is the best. for
Ragnarok
sure.
is the
And
best
then-
Avengers. I agree. Ragnarok is the best Avengers movie.
Yeah.
I love of all the adventures. I love the adventures of Avenger Thor and Hulk. All right. Next we've got Infinity War.
Ooh, I'm gonna put Infinity War in A.
Okay.
Um.
Between what?
Probably ahead of Guardians.
Okay. Solid.
Yeah.
We've got next up. We've got Ant-Man and the Wasp.
I'd probably put that in B. I liked it a lot. It was a good film, but I mean, there are just other films that are better than it.
Under Iron Man
The
1.
end's fine. Yeah.
Yeah. I have to address this in the chat. Jeff Goldblum in Thor. Incredible.
Yeah.
Just a dynamo. He is electricity. We've got Captain Marvel.
Captain Marvel was a C for me.
Okay.
Honestly, probably the middle there.
The middle of C. Worse than
yeah.
Iron Man 3, better than Thor.
Yeah.
Okay. And where we have the Avengers End of Avengers.
Ooh. That's
Oh.
gonna be an A as well.
A where? Oh, is it over Infinity War or under Infinity War?
No, it's under Infinity War. I don't think it was as good as Infinity War. I'd probably put it behind Ant-Man, honestly.
Behind it? Okay, the bottom of A tier.
Yeah.
And the most recent one, Spider-Man Far From Home.
I did not enjoy that one as much.
Me neither. Me neither.
Yeah, probably a high C, but
Like
I
right
couldn't
here?
justify going higher. Yeah, that's good.
Okay, folks, you've got it. This is the final ranking for CJ, who invented the notion of doing tier lists with folklorists. This is his Marvel Cinematic Universe on a scale from Thor 3 to Thor 2. Where are you right now on a scale from Thor 3 to Thor 2? Captain Marvel. Captain Marvel is I'm trying to answer stuff in chat. Let's see. Ant-Man A. I don't think Ant-Man is an A tier movie. I probably have Ant-Man in B, but I respect CJ putting Ant-Man in A. Let's see. Captain Marvel is like 5th from the bottom in C tier. And let us. What else is surprising me? Here?
People say Doctor Strange D seems harsh.
Doctor Strange D. Doctor Strange is Doctor Strange, I've seen it once, like in 3D, and I kind of don't want to watch it on a normal ass boring TV. So I want all of my Doctor Strange cinematic experiences to be as crazy as possible.
Yeah, I didn't understand it at all when I watched it. I was like, what? I was completely lost.
You gotta open your mind. All right. Do we have let's see. Daisy, do we have a chat question for CJ or two? Chat, if you have a question for CJ, let me know. Daisy, we got anything so far or what?
I don't know if we have a good chat question specifically for CJ, but I can ask questions of
Well,
CJ.
let me ask. Can I ask a question of CJ?
Yeah.
So you're talking about the mines in Park City,
Yeah.
correct? So how are these? I guess people were talking about this in the chat while you were being interviewed. Isn't that dangerous? How is it safe to go down into an abandoned mine shaft?
Well, yeah, I guess it's dangerous. But a lot of are attached. I don't even know how to explain it because I'm gonna be honest with you, I don't know a whole lot about mines. But whatever they mined, so they mined silver, I think, because it was a silver company mine or Silver King Mining Company.
Yes, that's true.
Um,
They were mining silver.
yeah, and so what they, I mean, we're talking huge factories that are kind of built into the sides of the mountains, and that is where most of the stuff is. A lot of the mine shafts have been closed off by this point, because yeah, for sure it's dangerous. You can go in some of them, I guess, but honestly, you're gonna see the coolest stuff as far as, I mean, anything, graffiti, ran just aesthetic, everything is going to be a lot better in the light, so above ground. um but there was one building I remember that was just built along the side of this mountain. It was just like massive. It was like 7 stories just built alongside of this mountain, and we went up, like, we got to go up to like the fourth level. um Much higher than that, I was honestly terrified to do because it looked super dangerous. But honestly, a lot of that building was concrete, and so it was super safe. Well, not super safe, but it was a lot safer than wood, to walk on and to stand on and to do whatever on.
Daisy, you have a question for CJ.
Um, yeah, I was just thinking, like, being kind of like an independent folklorist, we have this national network of folklore, which is really cool.
Mhm.
And one thing that Folkwise wants to do is to get people to connect, basically not AFS folklorist time, which can be hard to do. And in the places that it does exist, it's very like formulaic, I feel, or like, I mean, there's Facebook groups and blah blah blah, but um, we do have Caitlin Kinney's Happy Hour, which has been fantastic, and I think serves a very similar purpose. But like, I guess, like, what do you feel like now your relationship to folklore is, having
Mm.
graduated with an MA and then like kind of like in that in between space, that liminal space of like, not being in grad school anymore, I guess. What does that feel like? And what's your connection to the field? How do you feel right now?
Besides, the obvious, like, I feel like, not overwhelmed. But I finally feel like I've been, when did I leave Mon? I left Mon spring 2019. So since then, I haven't had, a school deadline that I had to meet
Yeah.
or classes that, I had to worry about. And it's been super, super nice. And honestly, like, I've thought about going back to school. Maybe not in folklore, but in something else, just because I definitely love school. But being in that liminal space, one of the things that it's helped me do is it really helped me refocus. One
Hmm.
of the things that I knew, the more I progressed, was that I was going to have to start researching other things, right? But there
Of
wasn't really
course.
anything that I could find that really interested me too much. And I think, that made me super anxious. And so taking a step back and kind of viewing it again gives me this newfound love for it almost, and reminds me of, all the cool stuff there is to think about and to talk about, and things like that. Because honestly, I don't think that I would keep going to abandoned places if not for some kind of interest in, like, figuring out eventually,
Yeah.
if there's something I can do with it.
Yeah, if there's some kind of academic or educational output you can take from like your this like activity.
Right.
Yeah.
Right. Exactly.
And can I say briefly? Can you talk about what you do? What you do for a living right now?
Yeah. So I mean, I adjunct. I teach comp, which is super fun.
At Utah
I
State.
Yeah,
Mm-hmm.
Utah State. I love teaching comp.
That is comp
And then
is English composition.
mhm.
Okay, cool. I've most of us have taken it, I assume, but
Yeah, I've always loved it. It's so much fun. But yeah, I'm at this residential treatment center. That's the parking lot I'm in right now.
mhm.
And not a little more difficult.
And
A little
so
more difficult.
what exactly is that for people who are like other parts of the country who might not necessarily know?
Basically, it's a not necessarily a rehab, but also not necessarily not. It's basically a place that focuses on individual therapy with adolescents.
Okay.
Adolescents who either have ASD or drug abuse issues come to us. They have a therapist that they see weekly. They have us that, we spend time with them. They live here. They go to school here. They eat all their meals here.
Excellent.
And yeah, it's just being a dorm counselor, basically hanging out with them, and it's a lot of fun.
Yeah. And how'd you get
I
into that line of work from
I
exploring
did it.
abandoned buildings?
I did it actually right after I graduated with my master's degree. Right before I moved to Canada,
Hmm.
because it was like during the summer, and I was like, I have nothing else to do during this summer, and I tried so hard not to get this job. I did not want to do it because the one of the hardest things
I
that
bet.
I've had to do is, you have to go hands on sometimes.
Yeah.
It's and that's not fun. You know what I mean? Like, right? I don't know if you remember Logan Too Much Daisy, right? But we're kind of on
Yeah.
the edge. We're right by the highway, and the amount of times
Mm,
I've ran across that highway chasing someone to try to run away
Hmm.
without any
mm.
regard for like my own safety is really
Yeah.
strange to think about in
It's kind of
retrospect.
lovely though, right?
Yeah, I
You
mean, I
Like
I
how
love it.
you have like such a large network of people you care about, I guess.
yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's really great. And so yeah, I was terrified. I did not want to do it, but I loved it. And
Now
so
that
when
you're
I
here.
came back, yeah, when I came back, I was like, hey, yeah, let me go there.
That's
And it's been
cool.
really awesome to see how the kids have treated, COVID, and I don't know, it's just fun to be with them.
That's cool.
Be with people, learning all the time,
Yeah.
Yeah.
supporting people. That's cool.
CJ, thank you very much for being on. Daisy, are we gonna have a quick like 10-minute break, then come back with more Stanley Parable, the
Stanley
two of
Parable.
us? Is that what's
I think that sounds great. Yeah, it's about
cool?
10, just a little bit after 10 o'clock.
On the
So
East Coast.
yeah, on the East Coast. So we will take just about a 10-minute break. And again, thank you, CJ, for being on the show. This was so much fun. If you
Like
can
we
Yeah.
do
join
around
us,
here,
Thank you.
everybody in the
like,
chat, please give CJ either a thank you or a GG's.
yeah, good games.
And
Um,
I know you have to get back into the dorm, correct?
Yeah.
But you know what? If you want to lurk on the chat,
feel
that might be fun
free.
for you.
Yeah, definitely.
Hang out.
Definitely.
We might get another question later that's relevant. I'll send it to you. We can talk more about it on the show. And yeah, just thanks again. This was super fun, and I hope you feel connected to your folklore community because
Yeah, of course.
we're
Yeah.
so happy to have you on the show.
Very happy to have you
Yeah,
on the
thank you
show,
guys.
CJ. Thank you very much. All right.